Well, hello everyone. Hello, this is Grandmaster Jessie Bowen with Elite Black Belts Who Cook. Now, I wanted to get that out first. That's what this podcast is going to be about. Of course, this is the Become an Author podcast, but our feature today is Elite Black Belts Who Cook, and we have Shiandana Abbott on. We have Christina Rodriguez on. So we got a great show today. So if you're one of those martial artists that's out there and you've been hearing about for the past 6 months about this cookbook, well, it's getting ready to launch. It's going to be launching in Houston, Texas on October the 6th. And we're really excited about it. We have recipes from around the country that people are sharing on their favorite recipes and how these food groups really help bring people together in the martial arts. The book is packed with great article chapters in there about the different foods from Japan, from China, from Korea, about how these different foods have an impact on the martial arts. So we've got a lot of great things going on. The first thing that we really want to do is Natalie and I, we love to chat about what we have going on. And if you haven't been to the new website, it's Elite Publications. Duh. I almost lost it now. Elite Publications.
Well, I was like, did you change your name?
No. I've been on vacation for a week and I'm coming back. So. I'm going, what is the name of it? But elitepublications.org is our new website. Please go check it out. It's informative. You know, we're now doing custom websites. We're doing podcasting. We're doing ebooks. We're doing audiobooks. If it's done in publications, we now do it. And of course, you know, we're really helping individuals not just publish their books, but we have the marketing tools that help them to become international bestsellers. So if you've been thinking about writing a book, publishing a book, or if you already have a book out and it's dead, it's not performing, you're not getting sales on your books and people are not reading your books, let us know. And we also specialize in magazines. So if your organization or if you would like to have a magazine created for your organization, let us know. Remember, that's elitepublications.org. So Natalie, I know we've got some things we want to talk about before we bring our guest on. So what are we talking about today? I know you've got some really good things that you're doing in journaling and some things like that. So what's going on?
Yeah, the journals have just exploded. I'm super excited. You know, we have coaches, we have authors that branch into, you know, different areas of helping people to learn, to build themselves, to set goals and that type of thing. So we all write notes. We all, have you ever gone to a conference and you're on like just random papers and you come home, and wouldn't it be nice to have it all written in a journal that you can keep? And that's what we're doing. Christmas is coming up, Hanukkah, and Thanksgiving and gratitude go hand in hand. So what I have found that so many people are looking for meaningful gifts, meaningful, inexpensive gifts. So what I've done is I've done a line of family journals that you can have your family's pictures, you can have like random collage, or you can just have your family's name and have a fun title and subtitle. And whatever you do with it, whether you write some stories, whether you write your grocery list, it's your family's journal. So that's one thing that I've been busy doing. And then I have a brand new product called My Talking Journal. And that's when I bring people together on one topic. Let's stay on gratitude. And you inspire people with your message of gratitude and then give them a thought-provoking question so they can write in the journal. So if that interests you and you want to be a part, reach out to me at giftsoflegacy@gmail.com. And I'd love to help your family have their own personalized journal.
Where it's really amazing how many things that we can do to bring people together. And that's it's really
Mhm.
important right now that we do things that bring people together. And whether it's your journal, whether it's a compilation book, whether it's your memoir, whether it's an event book, writing and being able to publish this is a great opportunity for you to do that now. And now we're all about legacy. We have the museum that we've launched, and the museum, which is the Who's Who Martial Arts Metaverse Museum.
That's cool.
That people now, we are storing their history through their bios, through the videos that they want to share, the photographs that they want to share. So now this is a virtual museum that people can go in and take a look in, and it's a free museum. Now, people would like to make a donation to the American Martial Arts Alliance Foundation, they can do that. But this is a free museum, and it's in the metaverse. So you can have your VR glasses, you can have them on, and you can interact through the museum, or you can interact from your computer, or your cell phone. So let's go ahead and kick off, because we have a really great, some great guests today. And we have Christine Bannon Rodriguez with us, and we have Dana Abbott with us today, and they're in the cookbook. And
Yeah.
Christine, I'm always calling you Christine. I don't know why that's sort of stuck in my mind. I probably have caught that. Does he really know my name? But
That's okay.
Great martial artists in the martial arts world. You guys probably already know who they are. I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves and where they're from. And I know Christine, she has again been in films, martial arts world champion, so many things she's brought to the martial arts, and she's one of the co-authors in the Elite Black Belt Who Cooks, and Dana Abbott, and again he's a really good friend, but outstanding world-renowned martial artist. He is the Samurai Man. And just in a few weeks, we're going to be on, and he's going to be doing a seminar for us on a virtual program also. So let's, ladies always first. So Christine, why don't we start with you? Why don't you, for our audience, take a moment, introduce yourself, tell us some of the background, some of the things that you are really known for in the martial arts. And I know that you and your husband, you guys have a phenomenal tournament that you guys host each year, and people from around the world come to that. So we're going to kick it off to you, then we'll go over to Dana Abbott.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'm from Warwick, Rhode Island, is where our school is located. So we're in the smallest little state here, but I've been doing martial arts for about almost 44 years. So it's been quite a while. And really got into competition when I was younger, and really excelled in that, and went on to world championships with Waco, and won 9 world titles. And then that kind of took me into the film industry, and doing some stunt work and doubling for people and stuff. So it's been full circle, as far as from a student to film person to instructor and coach. My husband and I run a school in Warwick, Rhode Island, and it's a very successful school. We have a lot of students, and it's nice. I coach a team right now as well, so it's nice being a coach or an instructor, trying to help your students reach their goals and come to their potential.
That is really awesome, and you were on one of the early shows. What was that? Was that the Masters show?
WMAC Masters, yes.
Yeah.
It was a Fox series for 2 years. So,
wow.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was just a grasshopper in the martial arts. I remember that, and it was really good. You and Bam and several other martial artists that I've become friends with, and that program going back, and here we are still today. We're still going, still involved in the martial arts, and we're healthy, we're strong, and we're moving forward. So, thank you for being a part of the book, and thank you for being on the program today. Hey there, Shiandina Abbott's. I see someone that just put in there that they enjoyed your sword class when we were in Vegas. And
Good.
Hey, you're the man. You're the man. I'm a grasshopper. You're the man.
I just really go with the prop. That's all. Anyway, this week is my 45th anniversary for martial arts. It was September 16th, 1978, when I lived in a small town called Prescott, Arizona. You know it as that old movie, Billy Jack, and that fight scene they had in the center courtyard. I lived about 2 blocks away from there. So that's when I started the martial arts, and I started with the Police Athletic League and doing punch kick, basic stuff like that. And they called it Korean karate back in the day. There was no taekwondo to speak of or anything like that. Jump ahead 6 years, I find myself in Tokyo working at Nihon Taiko Daigaku, a very, very good university for swordsmanship and sumo and judo and all those things. So from there, I basically sprungboard into being well known through the archipelago of Japan and being the only basically American most of these martial arts hadn't seen since World War II. They went, "Oh, nice to meet you." Yeah, things like that. So it was very enlightening to be taught from all the World War II vets that actually used sword in with their work back in 1940s and 30s. So I was able to learn the brevity of weaponry through the Toyama-ryu and the Gunto no Soho series, which it just means law of the sword and how to control people with the sword. If you did see that movie called The Last Samurai, at that time when they were changing from the old to the new school is what the sword series that I started learning, because that's Gendai, and that's made today, because you can't practice a 400-year-old art because the teachers aren't around anymore. Go figure. So, so coming back to the U.S. without talking too much, because this is what I enjoy doing. And I moved back here in 1998, and people were waiting for me on the tarmac. And by 2000, we got the Action Flex products out. So people didn't have to beat on each other with bamboo swords anymore. And then from there, we just started getting into all the dojos around the world and the United States. So we're probably in about 80% of all the schools throughout the world. And we have the Action Flex product line that allows you to practice weaponry in real time without getting injured or hurt. You can limp away a little bit because that goes with, it's part of the course. So I started writing books around the turn of the century because I knew that if you wrote a book, they would make you an authority figure if you're one of the first people writing about it.
Sure.
And lo and behold, I just started writing on my little Gutenberg Bible on how to do sword stuff the way I was taught in Japan, with no frills, no little extra turns or twists or anything like that. And then from there, just slowly becoming an authority figure. And as most everybody well knows, is if you get in one Hall of Fame, they let you get in all the others. You know how that is. So in 2004, I got into the Black Belt Hall of Fame and got a key to the men's room. And then from that time on, I got the drink to myself. So between that time and this time, we're just having a great time. We spar with people all the time. You sword fighting, spear fighting. You can go around the country, and most every given school has a sword program or a stick program, because we deal with lots of the scream sticks too, because, you can only beat on each other with sticks so hard before you get something
right.
Retention.
Well, one of the things that we, with you guys and having you guys be a part of it is that, number one, you're the expertise, and you have a lot of different cultures and a lot of different backgrounds. And throughout the country, everyone has to eat something. And it's really, different types of food. When we started this project, it was all about a fun project of being able to get your family involved, your friends involved, because anyone can be in the book. And all they really need to do is they have to have a black belt with them to be able to share their food. So, Natalie's going to be in the book. I'm her black belt. So I'm black belt cook partners with probably about 8 people. Jessica's in the book. I'm a partner with her. And my wife, of course, I'm a partner with my wife. So they can share the martial arts. Generally, if I go to a tournament, I go to an event, then she has to sit around the sideline and watch me get on a, as Dana said, get an award and all this stuff and congratulate me. She's my big cheerleader. But now what we've done is create something that our students, our friends, our family, they can be involved. And food is one of those things. So, Christine, I know you have you've got a recipe in there, but when we think about our students, and that's what we really want to focus on in the future is, what makes our students better? You're a champion. And we know that food, what we eat, makes a difference in, how we actually perform. So, what do you want to share? Anything you want to share, about food, and as a coach, some recommendations?
Well, a lot of times we're preparing for a tournament, and a lot of times we're traveling. So, you get that water retention from flying and stuff. And so I always try to tell my students or my team, if you can get there earlier rather than later, you don't want to be having that stress of if your flight's going to make it on time, if you're going to be delayed. And then again, with all that fluid retention you get from flying and stuff. So, if they can get there early enough that they have a day to kind of get that water retention out and eat healthy. Sometimes you have fighters that are trying to make weight. So, that's another issue, that they are trying to make their weight, get on the scale. And once they hit that scale and they make their weight, then it's, pasta and, all kinds of, get their protein and different stuff before actual competition, and not eating something that's going to give you, that energy high for a short time, and then it
then crash.
So so those things are all things that we look at, especially weigh-ins, and especially when you're flying and stuff. So and of course, when we go to some of these hotels, they don't have restaurants that are open super late. People are either trying to go to a restaurant close by, or ordering Uber Eats and different things like that. And then sometimes it's not the healthiest route to go. So, we do have our challenges with competition and traveling, and sometimes, you can always take something made from home if you can put it in your suitcase, or even just, healthy energy bars and stuff like that you can pack with you, so that you have that option if you're not able to get to that kind of stuff at the hotel or the venue.
Right. So tell us about the recipe that you're going to be featuring in the book.
The recipe was a sweet potato and ground turkey dish.
Ooh.
And, it's something that, as martial arts people, and there's going to be every type of person reading this kind of book, but as a martial artist, we always have the issue with getting out of work very late at night, and trying to make a meal. So by the time you get home and then you start cooking, so a lot of times we'll do takeout or different things like that, or I'll try and make something on the weekend. And this is something I'll try to make on the weekend and then have leftovers for at least the first day of the week, or possibly 2. Depends if all the boys are home and they eat too.
Right.
One of my sons is very picky, and he loves when I make this. It's, so it's healthy. It's got, some veggies in there with some zucchini and some sweet potatoes, which I love sweet potatoes, and the ground turkey. And it's just a great dish. And it's topped with the Parmesan cheese, the grated cheese and the Parmesan shredded cheese. And it's really, really delicious. And it's good when something tastes good and that it's pretty good for you and not super fat.
Yeah, I can't wait to read that one.
You're making me hungry.
Yeah. I'm super excited about this book, because what I love I talk about legacy and how you make legacy within your family, within your culture. And food is a huge part of that. We break bread together, we share recipes. One of the things that I love is when you have friends over and everyone brings a dish and you get to sample, different people's food favorites, their cultural backgrounds, traditions that maybe have passed down, that your grandmother's grandmother made this recipe, and you're still making it. And I'm having visions of Shihan like with his swords, the video of slicing and dicing. So it better be good, right? No pressure.
and that's really and Natalie, you brought up something that's very important. How many people do you meet and this recipe came from my mom, my grandmother, or my mom used to make it. I don't have the recipe and I don't know. So if we wrote those things down or put them in a place and brought value to them, see, these recipes would be around. So this is a part of family legacy. This is the way that my mom did it, my dad did it. So, and you really enjoyed it. So the book gives that way to be able to pass it down, to others so they can do it. If you're a guy, maybe it's my mom's recipe and my wife now learns how to make this recipe, or I make the recipe, that is great. Now I know that with Shihan, I already know what he's making, but I'm gonna let him talk about it. So let's talk about food and Japanese culture for a moment. Then let's talk about your recipe, because as that traditional martial artist trained in Japan, studied, and really have that Japanese culture. So let's talk about that for a moment, sir.
Well, it's a deep subject here, just because Japanese love their food. I'll tell you what, you take a Japanese out of Japan and you try to make them eat something else, they're going to be saying, is the water good? This doesn't look good. It just doesn't have love in it the way they put love into their food.
Yeah.
Of course, when we did our sushi dish, it was a basic sushi dish, so Americans could understand it pretty well. But the Japanese thought is that you keep it simple, you keep it plain, you keep it tasty to tantalize the palate just perfectly. But if you overdo it, you lose that Japanese flavor and feeling, because it isn't like you're going to eat an hour later, you're hungry again, but you're going to eat an hour later, you won't feel full, you won't feel bloated, you won't feel this. And the way they work it in their portions keeps it realistic. Now, if we all went over to Japan and ate, we'd eat it and we go, whoa, is that all we're going to get to eat? American size is a little different than Japanese size. They call it American size. Japanese size Coke is about 8 ounces. American size is 12. So there's that size difference they look at. But if we stay there for a week or 2 or 3, our stomachs will adjust, and it's called hara hachibun mei, which means at 80% we're full enough. So all the foods there, they go back hundreds of years. Everything that you see that's made from Japan is basically made off of rice, and they'll puff it, they'll fry it, they'll do this, they'll grow it, they'll boil it, they'll do everything, make alcohol out of it, so you know where I'm coming from. And from there, they just make all these great meals. Now, everything from tempura to sushi to American-made dishes done the Japanese way. For example, if you like curry, you figure you got to go to India for curry because India has all the curry. But after World War II, when MacArthur went into Japan, they weren't eating very well. They were thin vegetable people, basically. So they said, why don't you start eating a curry mix? Everything will be good for the bodies. And all of a sudden, by 1960, everybody was getting taller, but they turned curry into a national event. If you say to any kid in America, what do you want? Pizza! You say it to a Japanese boy, curry. And it's good, it's healthy, and you can't screw up with that. So going over to the sushi dishes, there's lots and lots of different dishes you can choose from. Because sushi, the word su means vinegar. So all these famous words you're thinking, it's just vinegar rice with fish. Let's be realistic. Onigiri is just put your hands together and make a rice ball. So all the terms that they have are really basic. So when you look at different sushis, you can go to a place in downtown Tokyo and pay $800 for a slice of sushi. Or you can go over to another place and pay 80 cents. And it all depends on what the feeling or artistic venue you want to put around it and how much money you have. But usually most sushi is either a fish or a vegetable. So if you go in the vegetarian way, you'll be using cucumber and avocado and onions and all those aspects, plus a lot of different roots and everything they use that you never think about. Just look at it as that stuff clean your stomach. Anyway, when you deal with all the different sushis, it isn't like you go to a sushi restaurant here. Here in America, you see California roll, you see all these rolls that are made to make your palate feel better. Over in Japan, you don't get any of that stuff. It's like pizza in Italy. Pizza in Italy is cheap food. You just put the pizza together, you eat it for lunch. It isn't like a big cuisine like it is over here in lots of places. So when we're dealing with the sushi, for example, the tuna sushi is just their version of the tuna fish sandwich. It keeps it easy. They open up the tuna fish, they put a little mayonnaise with it and a couple of their flavors, like a little shoyu, a few things like that. They mix it all up, and then they cut their amount of vegetables they want. They can put in like maguro tuna, or they can put in that with you can mix everything together. It really doesn't matter depending what you like. But what we did for the book was we kept it simple. So you add the tuna and then you add your vegetables wherever you want. And the hardest thing about doing sushi is just rolling it. It's sort of like Mexican food. The hardest thing about making a burrito is rolling the burrito because
keeping it in, right?
yeah, you can't put it in there and it falls all over your hands. The hard part is that when you take the food, we usually as Americans put too much on. So when you put too much on, take half off and you can roll it pretty easy. That's why I put a video in there with it, because I know people are it's like rolling a cigarette. My grandfather could do it with one hand, not me, So it depends what you're used and you're raised with. But the sushi dish is a very easy dish to make. It's made for, your kids come home. Hey, what do you want? Curry. But you're out of curry, so they'll go, I want a little sushi. So you make little meals like that. And, cucumber in season. So you eat lots of cucumber. Yeah, it's that simple. We got to keep it simple. Now, I traveled 60 countries and I've eaten in a few greasy spoons, let me tell you. Matter of fact, I used to do egg-ons with different people from different countries, and we used to try every food. So I can honestly say that I've eaten most every food you could imagine. But there's one food I haven't eaten yet, and that's monkey brain, because with my luck, I'd get a stupid monkey. So anyway, just putting all these foods together, we just have to build something. If for future people that want to get in the books, they have to put in something that's sort of easy to understand, but a little esoteric, because we know that if we were Australians, I say Marmite, and we all go, But if you're talking to someone from California and give them some Marmite, they'll fall to the ground trying to spit out all the salty taste. So you have to get used to it. For example, in Japan, they have fermented beans, natto. I don't touch it. My kids eat it like candy because you were raised on it. So there are lots of foods that people might turn their noses up to. But after they get the first initial bite or two, they can go with it on the Japanese food.
Absolutely. So, Christine, why did you want to be a part of this book? What appealed to you?
It was just something different, It's always doing something geared towards the martial arts and stuff. And, I just thought this would be different, and seeing everyone's, sharing from different parts of the United States or, different backgrounds. like Shion Abbott said, the different backgrounds, I think is quite interesting. And I think, and I think as martial artists, if we know the people in the book, sometimes we're probably more apt to like, oh, I want to try Jesse's
Right?
recipe, for meatballs or whatever it might be. So
Exactly.
yeah, I think it's kind of cool that it's from a lot of different people, and then you pick and choose what you would like to try to make.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait till the book comes out. So Jessie, how much longer do we have to wait?
Well, I am hoping that by the middle of next week, it will be up on, it's available now. So if you want to go and purchase your copy of the book, you can go to eliteblackbeltswhocook.com and you can pre-order your copy of the book. It's going to release October the 6th in Houston, Texas at the Sport Karate Museum event. Michael Hornsby is the author of the book. So that's where he's located. So all this was perfect timing for us to be able to do that. So go online, order a copy of the book, and sort of see what's in there. And we're actually started the registration for the 24 book. So this has been a great project. We're looking to, more people understand what it is. We have extended the different categories that people can be a part of the book. So you can go to eliteblackbeltswhocook.com. You can purchase a copy of the book. You can sign up to do an interview, and we're now doing interviews because when people come in, we want them to understand, what the book is about. As a co-author, what do you get from the project? What do you put into the project? And how all those things happen. So beautiful book design, beautiful book cover. It's the first of its kind, so I'm really excited about it. And having my friends that we deal with in the martial arts being a part of it. So we're sharing things together and being able to monetize the book. So there's a lot that really goes into it, Natalie. And my dish is right at this moment is actually fried Alaskan snow crab. So this is something that we put together because we do a lot of seafood here, especially on Fridays. So it's a really good dish, and I'm really excited about being able to share it. And it's people think about, well, hey, that's something different. Let me try it this way rather than just having steamed crabs or something like that.
Looking forward to it. Yeah. So Shihan, what really excited you about being in the book?
That I could watch people make something that could be tasty,
Mm.
and yeah, it's just, another part of being able to connect with the base. That's one of the biggest things. Most everybody sees us wearing black, in black belts, in black costume, swinging black swords,
Right.
and we have that air
Looking
a lot.
forward to your video.
Yes. But we have that air of being aloof a lot of the time, and for example, Bill Wallace and I are talking a little bit, and he goes, people, want to come up to you, but they don't because they figure you're too busy. And I was talking to him about that. And he goes, no, I'm never too busy. Come on up. But everybody's sort of afraid because you might be too busy for them. And writing this book shows them that we're just regular people too with an appetite.
Yep. Caring for your families, sharing food, breaking food together. I love it.
That makes it easy.
Well, I really want to thank you for being a part of our podcast today. Each week we come on and we try to bring something to inspire people to consider the story that's hidden within them of how to share their legacy. Again, this cookbook is another legacy book of sharing your recipes, and that's going to be around for till the end of time, or till it's removed from the internet or Barnes and Noble or wherever you may purchase a copy. So it's one of those things of legacy. So I'm really grateful, Christine, to you for being a part, and Dana for being a part. We share a lot of things every time we go to an event, and really it's a great honor because you guys have brought so much to the martial arts, and without you, I don't know where the martial arts would be. So you're really important players for what you have contributed. And I know you guys are featured in our Who's Who books and our other books that we have. And we've really tried to support you and making sure that your story get out there. So if you have a story that you want to share, remember Elite Publications. And the website is www.elitepublications.org. So remember, that's .org. We have a brand new website up. Go and check it out and let us know how we can help you share your story, empower the world, and make a difference. Any last words from you, Natalie?
No, I would just think if you want to share something special and you want a family journal created for your family, please reach out to me and let's get it going. If it's something that you want to write, a family legacy book or your memoir, come and talk to Jessie and I, and let's help you map it out and get it done, because we're not promised tomorrow, as we all know. And you don't want to look and all of a sudden you're 80 and you still haven't done it. We can help you get it done.
Well, I started, my birthday was last week. I turned the big 7-0. So I've got, I've got my little motto is, it's from a song. And so it's, don't let the old man in. So,
I saw that. I'm like, yeah.
So,
Happy belated birthday.
Hey, well, thank you. Well, that's what it is. Let's keep moving. Let's keep doing. Yeah. Let's keep our minds creative. Let's keep moving forward. And that's what we try to provide, in the martial arts community through our publications is legacy, history, and keep moving forward, because it's not over yet. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to our Becoming Author podcast with my co-host, Natalie McQueen. And we have with us today, Christine Bannon Rodriguez and Shion Dana Abbott. And I'm Jessie Bowen saying, be blessed. And remember, everyone has a story. You just have to get it out.